Good day, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we have with us Dr. Rizwan Mian. He came to Canada in 2006, been here, uh, been doing multiple things, and without having me to introduce him, I'll let him have the opportunity. So, Rizwan, if you can get started by telling us a little bit about yourself first.
Sure. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. So, presently and professionally, right now, I'm a cloud data architect, but that's one side of me. I also invest in stocks and I also invest in real estates. I hedge my risk by using insurance. So it's an entire package that I do, right? My partner, my chief partner, my spouse, she also works. So, Alhamdulillah, doing very well. Cannot ask for more.
That's amazing. But if you could tell us a little bit about yourself from your journey, like how you got to
Sure.
where you got to here in Canada, a little bit about that.
Sure. I can happy to tell you that. I was one of the lucky ones that I had a job before I came to Canada, right? And an IT job, one of the lucky ones. But as a software developer in a company based out of Markham. But I had my fair share of ups and downs in my life, some really bad ones, right? I bought a house. I got into state real estate market in 2008, and it did not work out well for us. The tenants and the entire thing did not work out for us, and it was really hard. And to tell the truth, I did everything possibly I could legally, financially, and I could not get out. And I sought help from Allah in that case. And where I am right now, I cannot emphasize that enough. Allah has helped me a lot. I asked Allah for help, and He responded for my pains, and He took them away. The pains went away. So I started my PhD in 2009, 2013. My PhD finished in cloud computing was the general topic, and I got a postdoc at McGill, right? But there was a problem. My spouse wanted to come back to Toronto to do an MBA, so it was a very hard decision for me. So I had to let that go. Um, and I came back to Toronto and started working as a postdoc at York University. Um, and unfortunately, the contract, the postdoc contract was it was increment of 6 months. I did not like that at all. My McGillian contract was 2 years long, and it was with the company as well was involved in that. So that was a startup slash research type. Um, then I started looking for a job, and I got a job in States. So I was based out of Toronto, but was working in the States for about 2 years. Um, I worked in Manhattan for a year, as well as in Chicago briefly, as well as North Carolina. I actually went to Silicon Valley as well. And at that time, I was very upset about my McGill thing didn't work out. So I was looking for some outlet to do something. So I tried a number of startups too, right? One of them was based on financial app, and it is online, by the way, and it did not work out because it was based on budgeting well, right? And and that came out of our PhD where we really had to squeeze penny to survive, and then I generalized that work and then made an app out of it. After that, I started looking at optimizing people's resume based on job descriptions. I start to make a little bit of money on that. And meanwhile, I was asking my spouse. She had a business undergrad from Pakistan, so please look into stocks. And she for whatever reason we could not. And then I started studying it myself, and I started getting into it, and then I started making money, right? And then after seeing me making money, she also she followed as well. So right now, where I stand, I have a financial portfolio, healthy financial portfolio, both in tax deductible and tax deferred and non-taxable accounts, as well as cash accounts, both in bitcoins um, and different geographies. So I'm doing well. So the trick is we want to minimize the outflow, meaning expenses and all that, maximize the inflow, meaning that you do job. You also look at if you can have a second income somehow stock is one of them. Another one is Udemy and YouTube. That's work, right? Once you understand stocks, I also feel, and I also feel our community, especially the homemakers, the women at home or the men at home, they can learn it. It's learnable. It will take time, but you can learn it, and you can do it from home, right? Um, and I can refer to articles if somebody interested in it. My peer at Waterloo, Dr. Numer, and I'm unsure if you interviewed him yet or not. Great guy. He has written an article on very good article. It's very pertinent article on it on this. Um, uh, do you have any? So that's
No, no,
that's
that's
me. Do
good.
you have any question?
No, that's a good context I was listening to, because some of the things that we've always talked about, but I didn't know so much in detail. But that was good for me as well. So, other than this, and I'll come back to these things a little bit later. But from your professional context, you mentioned your cloud computing. Where do you see that industry? Are you still in that role?
Yes.
And where do you see that industry headed?
So I graduated in cloud computing, and at that time, 2013, Hadoop was big. The big data and Hadoop was big. So I had to pivot my work somehow, somewhat. So I started working on that. I always wanted to do data science work, machine learning work, because I did that some of that as part of my PhD. And it took me a while, still, since data science got interest in industry. But I have to tell you the truth. I've worked very hard, but I could not land good, lucrative data science opportunities. And I have a reasons to believe that that's the case, because the data science work is machine learning work is usually at the back end. The things that are at the front end people can see, like the BI work, the graphs, the analysis, those kind of things. Even engineering work, where the executive team can see progress, that commands more money, and that is in fact the case. It's easier to land a data engineer contract versus landing a data science contract.
Interesting. That's something I think has been earlier shared as well, and I think there's reinforcement on that. One last question for you, Rizwan,
Yeah.
and that is for those folks who are moving to Canada, and I know you talked about financial literacy and financial management, and I think there's a very strong aspect to that which people should be aware of. What would you give them advice while they're positioning to move here to Canada?
Um, well, aim to come in like towards the late summer, fall, because that's when the market starts warming up in terms of jobs. Summer is usually quieter when it comes to jobs. People are vacationing and having fun and all that. And in the fall, things start to get pick up. So and many of the firms, they have there is the year ends, the financial year ends in the summer as well. So with the new upcoming year, there is new budget for pursuing new opportunities. So first, aim for the fall. Second, it's okay to live in a basement for a while. Um, and you need to understand the system, and you need to be careful, because we were defrauded. I must admit, in terms of when we came in Canada, I was progressing very fast. Things that things could happen. So watch out from any if something is too good to be true, it probably is. So watch out for that. Make sure file your taxes so that you can start getting fundings if you have children straight away. You will get money for that straight away. Keep a control on your expenses in this. Once you start everything you measure, you start optimizing it. If you start measuring your expenses, you will start optimizing it. You will see where you're spending more money versus others. So in terms of job, I know it's very hard. No matter whatever anybody else say, I think it's the networking that lends your job. People, I know Miss Mahvish spoke about it, having a perfect resume. That helps. That's a given, right? But it is connecting with people on LinkedIn, reaching out, networking, and try to see if you can offer them something as well, right? Your whoever your connection is. And then reach out to people, start studying, for example, IT. I'm interested in right now. I'm interested in the jobs that are at the confluence of finance and AI, right? So start studying. If there are such opportunities on LinkedIn, and look for them, right? So but it's okay to pivot a little bit. So if you know how to code, um, then you can start software developer. It's fine. Your software engineer is fine. Pivot your role. I've done so many times. I was a data scientist at one point. Now I'm a cloud data architect. I haven't had a professional architect training. It's learning on the go. learning on the go. And there is, unfortunately, with modern times, I find there is not a traditional career path. It's for especially I speak for myself. It's a non-linear career path. Try this, try that, try this, try that, um, and I see rooms to grow, and I grow.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's also one of the perspectives, Rizwan. I hope folks watching today would be able to take away something, and if they have any question, they'll be able to reach out to you. So thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.